Gentlemen, it's time to expire. The chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. McClintock, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, first I want to thank you for your responsiveness to my community's concerns over the situation at Yosemite. Relaxing the reservation system was a good first step. Ultimately, I think we need to restore full public access to the public lands. As you know, Yosemite was originally set aside for, quote, public use, resort, and recreation. But over the past several decades, that attitude's changed to what can best be described as look but don't touch. The attitude of the last two superintendents was entirely dismissive, indeed I would say contemptuous of the public and of the gateway communities. Now that we've got a vacancy in the superintendent's office and in the NPS director's office and a new administration, I think we have a priceless opportunity to restore the original vision for the park and for the park system. For example, Yosemite continues to have roughly only half the rooms, half the campsites, and half the parking spaces as it had prior to the 1997 flood. Money was appropriated to restore these facilities, but they never were. And about 10 years ago, the Merced River Plan was used as an excuse to remove additional amenities for visitors. Overcrowding in the park can be solved either by further restrictions on access, which is the bureaucracy's preference, or by expanding capacity and expediting guest processing at the gates and encouraging visitation beyond the valley itself to other features within the park, which is the preference of the gateway communities and, dare I say it, of all the visitors. And on my first visit with the management 14 years ago, I noted a placard in the conference room that read, is it the right thing for the park? And I said, that's exactly the wrong question. The right question is it the right thing for the park's visitors? And that's the central problem, as I see it, in the attitude of the NPS bureaucracy nationwide. And I, for one, would like to see a new NPS director and a new Yosemite superintendent that are not wedded to the bureaucracy, but rather have hospitality experience in the national parks and who'll take the side of the visitors and not the bureaucrats. So I wanted to get your thoughts on the record and put it bluntly, whose side are you on?
Well, I want to say, again, appreciated the opportunity that we had to speak earlier and appreciate your comments that just made right now. One takeaway from our earlier conversation, when I'm visiting a national park now, I've requested at each park that I have an opportunity to have a separate visit with gateway community leaders to understand their perspective of how we, the Park Service, are operating as a neighbor, how we can work more collaboratively, how we can help the business opportunities there, and how decisions that we might make, reservation systems, lodging, et cetera, would have impacts on that. So,
and by the way, I can say that my gateway communities say that that's a breath of fresh air. Thank you again for that.
And I look for I look forward to visiting Yosemite with you and meeting with the gateway community leaders there. So looking forward to that.
With respect to the attitude of the Park Service, orienting back to hospitality as its principal function, what can we do in that regard?
Well, I think there's lots of things we can do to preserve these, last best places. But as you say, we can still do the things that we need to do to create a more positive visitor experience. One of the things that we're looking closely at is I think we're way undercharging as a nation for international visitors. We've done a study of what gets charged when you. If you're going to go see the gorillas in Rwanda, if you're going to go to the Galapagos Islands, it's $500 a day or higher in some of these locations, and we'll take.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure we want to discourage international visitors from visiting our parks either, but we need to be sure that their capacity can accommodate those who want to come, and that the park staff is oriented toward the visitor experience first and foremost.
Right, but there could be $1 billion revenue opportunity without discouraging visitors, international visitors, particularly if they're coming here as part of a tour. Yosemite is one of the places they want to see, and in some cases on these bus tours, we're charging them less than we're charging an American family. And that revenue, if it could be redirected back towards deferred maintenance, staffing, a number of things that we can do, that would be fantastic.
Well, and contracting out of a lot of services, getting back to the discussion you had earlier about doing more efficiently, that's critically important. You know, I looked at all the brouhaha over staff cuts at Yosemite. It turns out it was 10 probationary positions out of more than 500, and you're actually increasing the summertime staff by 30 part-time positions. They complained, well, you're getting rid of the locksmith. So, well, wait a second. The concessionaire has our own management department, and there's a locksmith within 20 minutes of every one of the gateways to the Yosemite National Park. Why aren't you contracting that out? Why are you hiring a park ranger, putting park rangers in position where they have to be cleaning restrooms? Why don't you get a contract with a local janitorial service? They do a far better job at far lower cost. So anyway, thank you for those innovations.
Exactly, thank you.